All right, so here we are. Here we are with our handle, and just this one's not bad. Has that little crack right here, which I showed you. And not many, that's it really. So, and that's probably happened because it's on the edge and it dried faster. So I'm taking the tip of this pointy part of the, not the pen-like one, but more like the tapered tool. And I'm just compressing a little bit of clay into there. And at this point, this is when you can clean up any other parts that you don't like. Actually, it looks like the top definitely has a nice crack too, which, regardless of whether it has a crack, I actually think it is a good idea to go in and just compress a little bit, at least. Whether it's with your finger, or a paintbrush, one of these guys. I think actually this up here is, I don't know if this guy, yeah, it can reach in there. If it can't reach, I use the paintbrush. Yeah, like there it can't, so now I'm gonna use this paintbrush and almost like just push in the clay, a little bit of water on there, push it in, rub it, make it secure. Oh, looks like a little bit's forming there. So this was just, I did these yesterday, wrapped them up fairly tightly, but they, with that dry cleaner plastic, they did dry overnight a little bit. So it's not like they were in a watertight plastic container. There was drying happening. Depending on how you decorate your cups, you don't need to pay this much attention to handles. If it's going to be decorated in a way, I think that you kind of lose the handle within the decoration. But I'm going to use just a single glaze. And actually it's going to pool in these areas too, so that'll help attach the handle, but it's a translucent glaze, so it will show any little flaws. And at this point, I look at the lip of the cup too, and just try and edit any nicks, or maybe I bumped it, or when it's trimmed upside down, you can flatten the lip. So now's a great time to just fix that when it's nice and hard. All right, let's see what else. These look pretty good. This is a different kind of handle. This handle's pulled directly off the piece. So it usually attached really well. I think this is one I attempted to fill in the clay, the top here. Still working on that. It's not, I mean, when it's done right, it looks really good. But I'm pretty picky, or snotty with my handles. I mean, it took me a while, like maybe 200 handles to like one of them. But I was fortunate in my apprenticeship at Highland Pottery of Vermont that Jamie was patient with me. So I'm just adding a little definition giving it that separate look, which also compresses the cracks. So has dual purpose, aesthetics and function. Okay. Let's see. It's a nice wishbone. I said wishbone, but I don't know, what do you call it, dog bone? Wishbone actually splits, right? Because you pull them apart. But see how it comes out in flanges as it attaches to the cup. That's what I really like the look of with these. This is a small crack, very small. That'll be fine. I will continue to dry these slowly. I'm actually going away for the weekend, so I wanted to make sure before I go away that these are set up for success. That's the worst, when you come back to 3 days of work and it's destroyed. It's donezo because your handle's popped off. Three days, it took me, you know, a day to throw, and then a day to trim and put handles on. I mean, I probably could have done it all in 2 days, but I'm not working like a full 8-hour day here at the studio right now. But I mean, it was 2 decent studio days. So yeah, at this point, if I have any like little nick, I'm just gonna try and touch it up. If you try and do this when it's wet, you run the risk of distorting the handle. But now it's like really well set up, so it's much easier to touch things up. Gosh. This one is funky because when I put it on, it was just way too long, so I gave it a little lift. I don't know if I like it. These are all experiments with new forms. I've never thrown this shape before for the body of the vessel, so we're just playing around with creating a pottery line, seeing what works, what feels good, aesthetically what I like. This is kind of a traditional shape, body shape, that I've never thrown before actually. So here too. At this point, you can't really push it onto the vessel. It's too hard to like compress it that way, but you can kind of squeeze in small clay particles into cracks. Using the brush to clean it up. Little fingers. Ah, nicked it. Gosh. Okay. we'll see. Let's see what else. So I'm playing with these like little single finger ones, which for me actually that feels too small. So we'll see. Someone might like it. And actually now that I'm feeling it, it's just it's too high. Like the finger has to rest right there. It can't rest over here. So, and it has to rest, your finger has to rest this way. It can't rest this way or this way, which when I'm holding a cup of tea or a huge cup of coffee, to put all the pressure on the top part of my finger feels kind of funny, versus I wish I could hold it, I don't know. This one though, so this works as a single finger and you can see the difference. Immediately I know because it just feels good in my hand, versus this, I'm holding the cup up that way, versus this one, I'm holding it this way. And the finger will hold there, the top finger. This one, I don't know, it's just like, doesn't work. But everyone's hands are different, and that's kind of the beauty of making drinking vessels, is thinking about the hand and designing for a hand in mind. Usually it's my hand, so anyone who has hands like me might like my cups. Size varies, our thumb shapes vary, our preference varies for how you like to hold it. I mean, then the vessel itself varies with personality. How much coffee do you like to drink at once? Lip shape, design. So there's just a lot. What I do like about this little handle though is kind of how they almost, these two edges here and here, they almost meet. I think that's kind of quaint, cute. They're gonna, these joints will fill in beautifully with a glaze. And this clay body will be white, so whatever glaze I'm using on here, the color will pop. I think. I've never fired this before actually. And we're doing an experimental Cone 5 soda. So I'm gonna throw some of them in there. At the community college that my friend is an instructor at, she asked if I want to contribute to that firing, which is very gracious of her. I'm excited. Okay. You could fuss all day long over a single handle. Don't do that. This handle I don't like. Bleh. I'll tell you why. I mean, you can see in the attempting to throw this shape, I threw many different variations of it. And this one, the bottom is so much more voluminous and higher up. I mean, honestly, I think I chose the wrong handle type for it. It kind of, I mean, this is a great example of some people might like having that 2-3 finger hold. But in terms of aesthetics, I just really don't like it. I think maybe if this was thicker, or if it went, I think I was attempting when I was doing it to have it go down first and not straight out, but it just didn't work out that way. So this is what I got. This one will go in the experimental soda firing for sure. watch everything comes out amazing and I never have access to it again. But at least I'll know. I'll put some good ones in there too. Alright, this doesn't have any cracks. I'm gonna just clean up, define this attachment. And that will pool really nicely. But yeah, this is shitty hand. Shitty's not a good word. Bottom heavy too. This one definitely needs some TLC. You see that crack? That one. Get closer. A little bit of water. Same on this side. Compressing in clay. I even grab some clay. Slip here on my bucket. This clay is very saturated, so it might actually cause me more problems. Clay on there, push it in, smooth it out. Same down here. kind of like the awkwardness of how far out this handle is. One rule of thumb is sometimes you want your knuckle just like grazing the pot, but I think that's fun and awkward way out there. That one feels good. That one's fun for a single finger. Hopefully it doesn't shrink too much. I don't know what the specs are on the shrinkage for this pot, or this clay body. That's just weird. Frankenstein. Alright, this one, meh, it'll do. That's nice. That's a good one. That was that series, and then I made some little guys. I was hoping to make a tumbler that without a handle, that just was a nice full form to hold in your hand and drink whiskey out of, or I don't know what else. Anything cold. I think drinking a hot drink out of this would be too hot, and it's not like a yunomi. This would be more considered a yunomi shape, where you have a foot and a lip that you can hold like so, and your fingers don't get burned. You don't really have, I mean, you kind of do, but it's not as graceful looking, I guess. They're about the same shape, or same size. These were a lot quicker to make. Completely different looks. All right, so I could just let these dry slowly out, loosely covered, because there's no handle, so I don't have to worry about them as much. Let's look at these. How did they attach? Some cracks. Can you see? Can you see? Right there. Trying to focus on it. There, that crack. That's what I'm gonna work on. Too, because it's kind of an aggressive edge. Just softens it, softens the look by using a paintbrush. So don't run the risk of getting your fingernail gouging a piece of the clay. Okay, happy with that. This one looks good. So I'm just gonna soften my lines, my joints. Oh, nope, there's a crack there. I mean, with porcelain, you're almost guaranteed to get little hairline cracks like these. So it's really important to check them and babysit them. So when I give it a little finger dimple there at the end, like that. A little bit more traditional looking. I might have pulled some of these off of the pot, an ode to my apprenticeship days. Can't forget which ones. I think I did a couple. The nice thing about pulling handles directly off the pot is it cuts back on one less step. Pulling, I guess if you don't pull them off the pot, you pull them, you let them sit up a little bit, and that takes time. And so it's just one more step along the way that takes time, and time is money. It's an awkward one finger, not two fingers, so might be good for someone else, but not for me. All right, looks like those are all the handles that I got. Out of these shapes, which one do you like the best? Let's see. Here's number one. Number two. Ooh. And this is the third one. I am going to take the ones with the handles, and as I wrap them up, I'm going to double check that I got them all. And I'm going to wrap them pretty tight because I'm going to be gone for the weekend for 4 days. So I'm just going to pray that they don't pop off, and yeah, move on from there. All right, bye.